This is the Lenovo Y700, the 2023 edition. Globally, it's called the Legion Tab or just the Lenovo Legion in India. And frankly, it's one of the most underrated tablets today. Now, it's definitely not for everyone. Say you love to consume media and like large screens, then it's definitely not for you. But for those looking for a compact tablet, one that you can hold one-handed to read a book or hook up to a controller and create your own PlayStation Portal, the Y700 is amazing. Now, if this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and let's get started. Now guys, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're interested in compact tablets. And of those, there are very few. You've got the iPad mini, sure, it's an iPad though. And even if you're fine with iPad OS, that one, it's not been refreshed for what, 3 years now? And then you have lesser known ones like the AldiCube iPlay 50 Mini, which is severely underpowered. You've got the Kindle Fires, same story. And then you've got this, the Lenovo Y700 and its predecessor, also called the Lenovo Y700. Anyways, let me start with what I think is the main reason you should be buying this tablet. The display. This here's an 8.8-inch IPS LCD panel. It's sharp AF with a pixel density of 343 pixels per inch. So it's great if you want to read books. Of course, an e-ink display would be better on your eyes, but it's doable here. And colored e-ink, let's be honest, it sucks. And TCL's Next Paper is gimmicky at best and underpowered. So this is probably the best experience you're gonna get if you want to read comics. And okay, to be fair, foldables do come close, but that's an entirely different segment, and this 16:10 aspect ratio, I feel it's better. Even for videos, the support for Dolby Vision and HDR10 and the speakers are excellent. They're tuned by JBL and there are two located this way, so when you're gaming, you don't cover them up. Also note the bezels here. They aren't symmetric, but the extra thickness does help when you're gaming, gives you some space to hold on to. And this time, Lenovo's offering not one, but two USB Type-C ports. So you can charge and game without cables getting in the way. Actually, you can bypass charging altogether and game plugged in if you don't want to let battery heat get in the way. The 144Hz refresh is also great for supported games, and Lenovo's also got their own version of a game mode, this pull-out menu. When a game's detected, this lets you change brightness, sound, performance profiles and whatnot. Pretty much every night on my OG Y700, I'd play one game, Slay the Spire, one run before I sleep, and that game isn't very demanding. So forget the performance profiles, but adjusting the brightness, the volume from here, now that's something I really grew to appreciate. Now this tablet does support Lenovo's stylus, but it doesn't charge magnetically, there's no place to store it, and I don't sketch or take notes, so I just use this cheap capacitive stylus and it fit the bill for me. Here's another thing about the Type-C port. It supports video out. So you can connect the Y700 to another screen or plug in a pair of AR glasses like this. Obviously, you can mirror the display, which is fine, but this display is 16:10. Most monitors are 16:9. This is something very common with tablets. For example, when you plug an iPad Pro into a display, see the black bars. Here, Lenovo lets you extend the display, so you get no black bars and you can output it up to 4K, which is awesome. There's also a Samsung DeX-like desktop mode here to let you make the most out of this. Add to it, you can have the Y700 double up as a trackpad. That's perfect when you're using it with AR glasses like the X-Real Air. The side Type-C port and this size means the Y700 is pretty much the only tablet where you can do this with a Type-C controller. Neat, right? Now all this would be for naught if there weren't a solid chip underneath. But thankfully, there is. We have a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 running the show. So a double gen upgrade from the 870 on its predecessor. This is paired with 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM and 256 or 512 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage. So it's not bleeding edge specs, and something like the OnePlus Pad 2 is definitely gonna be much better value. But remember what I said at the start? Now it's definitely not for everyone. Say you love to consume media and like large screens, then it's definitely not for you. That's why. But for this form factor, it's excellent. Now guys, Lenovo's actually shaved off 0.3 millimeters of thickness and 25 grams of weight from the OG Y700, and they've done that without affecting the battery capacity. In fact, they've done that while adding an extra camera, while adding an extra USB Type-C port. So I was a little wary about the cooling, But no, on a stress test, the 2023 Y700 lost just 5% of its peak performance over 20 minutes of being pushed. So emulation, GameCube, PS2, even Android games should be great. It is the most powerful compact Android tablet today. So what else? The 6550 mAh battery on the inside seems good. Initial impressions at least, it feels slightly better than what the original Y700 had to offer, and that had pretty good battery life. So no complaints. It ships with a 68 watt charger in the box but supports only up to 45 watts of charging, but 0 to 100 in 45 minutes for a tablet, pretty damn good in my humble opinion. Now of course there are negatives. Remember when I said they slimmed it down, dropped the weight without really cutting anything? The battery capacities remain unchanged, micro SD is still there and all that. I kinda left out one little thing because it didn't fit the story at that time. But jokes apart, they have cut one important feature, the headphone jack. But at least there is a second USB port and you can use something like the VE, Odo or Abigail to connect your earphones. Beat it up, this is my friend and he makes the Odo and Abigail, so if you want to pick one up, just Google it and buy it. He's not that good a friend. I joke, I'll leave a link in the description below. The next negative is that the display, it's not very bright. Not something you're gonna notice when indoors because 500 nits is fine for even the brightest of rooms, but given the portability, if you're gonna wanna go out on a sunny day and read something, might not be the best experience. Then there is no fingerprint scanner, not a big deal, but hey, the iPad mini does have it, so thought I'd let you know. The cameras, well, they are tablet cameras, 13 megapixel to the back, 8 megapixels to the front, decent pictures, both capable of 1080 video for the occasional video call. Now that's not what I'm calling a negative. The second camera that they've included this time, it's a 2 megapixel macro. And for the life of me, I don't understand why anyone would want that. Give me 20 mAh more, give me 3 grams less, give me a headphone jack. Who in the blue hell wants a macro camera on a tablet, that to a 2 megapixel one? And finally, software, or rather updates, or rather the lack thereof. This one's running on Android 13 with ZUI 15 on top. Lenovo says you should get Android 14 by the end of the month, but they've been strangely silent about the future. Going by track record, I'm not gonna hold my breath on this tablet ever seeing Android 15. Now that said, overall, I really like the Y700 to the point where I kinda regret working on this video because the more time I spent with it, the more I wrote about it, the more I talked myself into ordering one. The Y700 starts at 2400 RMB in China. It's been launched for 40,000 rupees in India. It is a little bit on the higher side of things, but even then, for that price, does it have flaws? Yes. Is it still the best compact Android tablet? Hell yes. And that's my take on the Legion Y700 2023 edition. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and let me just put it down so that I can do my outro. Thanks for watching. Ash out.